Hey everybody. Alright, let's get the camera up here. What's up? Daisuke leads the bots today. Daisuke's in front. Alright, so what's up, Darth Andrew? Let's kind of continue where we left off. Nice. Thanks, dude. It's gonna get done. I'll be done drawing it today. Fairly positive of that, so can move on with life. Berserk. Guts from Berserk. Later, Darth. Hey, what's up, dude? What did I get to? Oh, I slept and cleaned my kitchen. Ran some errands. Life stuff, man. Yeah. It's getting there. I'll talk about that when there's stuff to talk about, man. I don't wanna get into it. People just ask, when's it coming? One day you'll wake up and it'll all be normal. All part of the process. Until then, it's not the focus. I can't think about things I'm not working on while I'm doing shit that has to get done, you know? Otherwise, nothing will ever get done. What's up, dude? Oh, thanks. Guts. I don't know. It's too early in the morning to start complaining. Yep, giant PlayStation controller. I like to draw giant controllers. Ever since my high school art teacher told me, "You gonna make a living doing that one day?" Because we had to draw still lifes, you know. And so I got tired of drawing fruit, so I started drawing things that I love, right? So I was drawing my Super Nintendo controller, Genesis controllers. I have them flying out the TV. So it's just my way of getting back. As a matter of fact, I will. Hey, what's up, Pika? First time I got a giant controller in print was when I first started working at Play. So at the top of the magazines, they used to do these little. They were really paid advertisements in a way. Like it was part of tied into like whatever ads they bought. So it'd give them a little spot up in the corner of a magazine. So when you see something up in the top right-hand corner of a magazine and it like pops out at you, that's actually an advertisement. Um, but they had one for Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2, right? So they were like, we want to put a little picture up there. Can you draw something? I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll draw something. So I drew the girl riding the giant fucking PlayStation controller, and it just I remember breaking Dave's head. You know, he's like, "Well, the control, but why is it so big?" And I'm like, "That's what she said." Yeah, I own a few of the shirts I've made. Funny part was I had to draw this Avengers team up for a shirt, all gritty, back in 2012, and they made me take Black Widow off and put Wolverine on it because, Marvel. But I called the shirt Revengers. It's not on the shirt, but that's you got to give shirts names internally. And then when I saw Thor today, I was like, ha ha ha. I really don't have anything. Oh well, now I have to make it work. No. Hey man, if it's not working, you can always fix it digitally or just add whiteout. You know. And a lot of that comes to like eye to hand coordination. So I always recommend doing the dot test. Like doing this all the time. I did this for years and years and years, especially when I was in college and like at work. So you take two dots, you ghost, and then you draw. Right? So you start relatively small, you kind of ghost, and then lay down the line. Two dots, ghost, and then you just put the line further out. And you're always trying to like look where you want your hand to go, right? And you go further out, and then further out, see how far you hit it, right? So sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. I get it more often than I don't, you know? No, I'll do entirely digital as well. It's a mixture. Thanks. That's what I've been trying to get Brandon to do, and he doesn't practice enough, you know? So when he's like, "Oh, I don't know why my stuff isn't," I'm like, "Cause you don't sand the deck, wax the, paint the fence, wax the car." He goes, "It's some like old reference to a movie I've never heard of." I'm like, "Yep." Oh, Mega Potato. He's on the cast, man. He's on. You'll hear him. My bro. I don't like calling him my friend because he tends to start fucking up when I say that. Yeah, he goes, "I'm Rose's friend," and then he stops doing shit, you know? So, it's not the best. Rob's Potato. I call him Mega Potato. He hates it, but that's what we call him. I used to be like super positive with him, and it got him nowhere. He doesn't seem to respond to it. I was like, "You can do it," and then he wouldn't do it. It's been 6 months, a little over a year ago. He spent 6 months doing nothing, and then complaining to me. You know, he's like, "Yeah, I do perspective." I'm like, "When? Like for a couple minutes, once a month?" I don't think he understands the amount of hours that have to be put in. I don't mind people complaining, man. Just churn a result. I always tell people, in the art department, you can grumble fuck your way through this. I don't give a shit. But it needs to get done right. Like, get mad, cry, whatever you gotta do. I don't give a shit. That needs to get done right. Not get done right. Hey man, sometimes you need to. Like, sometimes I have to be like, this motherfucking, like, believe me, you know? Sometimes your mind has to throw a temper tantrum. It's embarrassing, you know? But that's normal. Anger is a normal, you know, human reaction. We have emotions. You want to keep it in check to an extent. You don't want to take your anger out on people, you know. But I hold Brandon to the standard I hold myself. So if he doesn't fucking appreciate my attitude, then he should understand that that's how I talk to myself. I don't. I don't mince words with me, you know. I don't beat myself up, but I have an expectation of, you know, of myself that I intend to see one way or the other get done. One way or the other, I'm gonna get the fucking result that I demand, you know. There is no compromise. That continued pushing is what fucking keeps me interested, you know. They call that falling in love with the process, right? You gotta fall in love with the process, not the result. I mean, technically the result, you know. Doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to look like what we intended to do. That's the real trick, you know? Like, does it look like what you intended? I had a conversation with an art friend of mine recently who had submitted to me, you know, they were working on a project and they were showing me what they're doing. And then they got to phase two after the design part, you know, and the thumbnails. Went to go draw everything out and they changed shit. And I was like, why did this doesn't the proportions of characters are off, you know, from the thumbnail. And they're like, well, you know, this happened, that happened. I'm like, when you make changes like that, you need to let the people in your production know. Because now you're rendering out a different product than what was agreed upon. You know, they're like, well, you know, and I'm like, you don't fucking have to convince me, man. I'm just telling you how it is. Like, I've done art directing. I'm telling you, you know, like, you want to get paid or don't ya? You know, yeah, the meaningless complaining. How come how come my talent just didn't just magically grow overnight? You know, but it's a lot of different things built up. One of the strongest things I just did was I spent years doing the dot technique. I still do it when I go to the DMV, you know, and I have to sit there rather than sitting on my phone, you know, reading fucking Twitter's reaction to God knows what else today. You know, I fucking sit down there and just do the dot technique. You know, I get it doesn't make me look cool in public. I'm not sitting around drawing people sitting there, you know, like that urban sketching thing. Like, I'm not doing that. I'm just doing basically push ups for my art, you know, in the downtime. You know, well, there's a lot of positivity on Twitter too, guys. I mean, look, Twitter got me the Game Informer gig. You know, Twitter is Schrodinger's cat. You know, it's everything all at once. It's you know hateful and it's positive, simultaneously speaking, like humans. You know, that's why I always find it funny when something evil happens in the world. They go, "Well, were they a Democrat? Were they a Republican?" I'm like, that only means one thing here in the United States. Those means different things in other countries. Furthermore, I hate to break it to you, but fucking people are people, man. You know, like if you're gonna nullify an opinion because someone had a political fucking yeah, it's just so funny. Like politics are made up of people. People are infallible, or people are fallible, right? They aren't infallible. Like you know, like no one can ever make a mistake ever, or otherwise they don't count. Like, all right, what mistakes have you never fucking made? Like, name one fucking person, you know, here who hasn't fucking said some shit to someone that was hurtful at once in their life, or you know what I mean? Like, it's just so funny, man. It's like watching. Where I think we're watching the birthing pains of mass consciousness. You know, like we're watching what happens when everyone gets together and has an opinion simultaneously. You know, in real time. We're just watching it. We could be watching the birthing of a singularity, right? We don't even know what we're you know watching here. It's something else. It's a sign of something else, I believe. Like much how one can't view a black hole, one just views the side of the after effects of one, right? It's more than this, you know. It's more than just, oh, it's a program. It's a lot of different things, you know. I personally feel like we're making progress because 100 years ago, a lot of these crazy political fucking opinions happened and they caused 2 world wars, you know. So we're doing better, you know. Not the best, but overall, that's why I don't worry about daily headlines, man. Study history and take an overview, and then I get back to watching fucking Stranger Things or Food Wars season 3, motherfucker. So, you know. Me juice. I'm more concerned with whether my dog needs to pee when I go to bed, you know, so she doesn't lie in bed in pain waiting to explode. You know, that I care about. Or does she just want a cookie? It's hard to say. Hard to say. Yeah. Mhm. Because glue is for paper products and not plastic. It needs an adhesive to grip onto. So they just make the inside of the cap smooth. No, no, no. I don't turn my dog into a sideshow. I need my personal life too, man. Yeah. I keep my personal life mostly personal. I don't take pictures of me. Here, my wife out on a date. Here, having this dinner. Like, that's for me. It's my life. It's my personal time. If it wasn't for art, you know, I wouldn't be online at all. Just don't care. I don't have the desire to be a celebrity. But I'm not stupid. You know this. This is a business. And if you don't have representation online as a professional, then, you know, they go, who are you? Oh, you're nobody. So, you know, like I'm nobody, but at least when you type my name in, it shows up. Hector's joking. He's gone plaid. No more digital. Yeah, never, right? Sure. Q2 tomorrow when I'm coloring this. Right? I got some major digital pieces coming up, folks. This is gonna. I got these X-Men pieces that are just, you know, it's gonna be fun. Yeah, I cut that out. This has to get done. It's taking too long. It's alright because I have to do the Darksiders this exact same way. So. My buddy Mike's been writing down my quotes for years now. Oh, nice. They're not buying 20th Century Fox. They were in talks to acquire properties. Kind of wouldn't matter seeing as how Time Warner owns like 80% of the media anyway. So, and they say it had a lot to do with the streaming services, so that when Disney relaunches their streaming service, they'll have shit like Futurama, and they call that the comfort food stuff. You know, things you already know. But who knows what will end up happening. And it's not a monopoly. They don't own everything. Just they probably just don't want to go through the years of FCC approval and lobbying it would probably take. So. He's fucking annoying me that night, man. He did some other stupid shit too. Like, I told him, I'm pretty certain I made it pretty clear on the cast. When he makes thumbnails, to keep the fucking titles on the thumbnail simple. Like, you can write in the title of the video, it can be elongated. Like when we first did the Final Fantasy thumbnails, he put Final Fantasy 9. And I'm like, there's no room for that in the thumbnail. So just put Final Fantasy. You know, try not to exceed. It needs to be bold and readable. And then in the title of the video, you can put Final Fantasy 9 Cloud, whatever you want. It can be longer. Well, he put up, the coloring thing I did with Ashley's piece, and he fucking in the thumbnail shoved in Castlevania Bloodlines. Like, if you look at the thumbnail, you're like, I can't, like, what are you doing? You know? Like, we've already talked about this 8 fucking times, dude. Like, just put Castlevania in the thumbnail. Like, you can't read it. Like, he squishes stuff or he'll stretch out text. I don't want you to squish or stretch out the text or ultra condense it. Like, just fucking so not hard, man. Like, it's so not hard. It's just so not hard. There's actual hard shit to do. That ain't it. You know. It's like, all right, change it. He's a good dude, man. Just as an artist, he just doesn't fucking pay attention to the details, you know? He gets in autopilot mode. And, you know, like when he was in the art department, I'd watch him. Like, you're in autopilot mode and you're fucking making mistakes, you know? Like, you're just, it's just not hard, man. You know, let me tell you a good way to get yourself fired, right? Especially in an art department, is make the fucking art director repeat themselves more than once. In a highly competitive field, you know? Oh, he's not going to be this one. I texted him last night, so he woke up to shit. In a highly competitive field, you can't make the people above you fucking repeat themselves. Just letting you know. You know? He's like, well, what if I didn't do it? Then they wouldn't get put out. Then I would just have to do it myself. I would have to take an extra hour of my day to do it. So an extra hour of not drawing. Just like when he was like, you know, when he got a little high and mighty about the flats. I had him doing flats for me. And he was taking like fucking 3 weeks, man. It was like 3 weeks to get the Battletoads one done. I'm like, this is not it's taking you 3 weeks to do the flats. It takes me fucking like 12 hours to color it. Like, come on, man. Like, this isn't hard, you know? And he was like, well, you know, then he come on, I do the Rob's flats, and you know, no. And I'm just like, dude, you're not doing them anymore. I took them away. Like, I took the flats away. And you guys see me doing my own flats. Like, it's not hard. It's just, hey, there's an extra hour or two I could save. But, you know, now I don't save that extra hour or two. I just go, well, that's just an extra hour or two of me not doing a commission, you know? Or writing Game Cave or fucking cleaning my room. Like, it's just 2 fucking extra hours of my life. I will just go and drag shit out. How come things take so long? Because I have to do so much by myself. And I don't compromise. Like, I don't go back and go, oh, I'm going to fucking make real basic generic looking shit so I can crank more of it out. I don't do that. That's not an option here. You know? So I just make less at the rate of quality at which I am happy with. Because if I'm not happy with it, then I'm just going to be fucking staring at it forever, unhappy with it. You know? It's just, he has a real, and it's like, he doesn't understand too, like, learning to do that stuff that way increases the quality of his work. You know? Following my lead increases the quality of his. I told him, I don't fucking adhere to your standard. You adhere to my standard. You know, I adhere to there's a standard here, and it gets met or gets improved upon. We don't fall below it. And if that means I have to throw it away and start over again, that's what I do. You know, just make everything plushies and roughies. Yeah, that would go real well over here, folks. You know, and so it's like, that won't get old quick. Like, and it's just like it's just making thumbnails, dude. Like, if you're having this much hard a time, dude, like making the thumbnails, like, of course, like when he's drawing, guys, the cast the other night when I was working on this digitally, when I was sketching out the pencil, he's on the front half of it. Listen to him fucking breathe and like this in the micro, because he's like stressing. The art is already figured out. The construction's settled upon. The fucking colors aren't hard to do. And he's just stressing because he doesn't know how. There's something in his head that hasn't clicked yet in terms of just following through on the hard part is like developing it, getting the layout, the construction, you know, down. The rendering is the fun part. This is where I can shoot the shit and fucking like make fun of stuff, whatever, you know? But it's like, you just hear him stressing, dude. And when I ask him about the thumbnails, he'll always say, he hasn't said this yet, but he'll say this. Well, I was just trying to get it done so it was up last night, you know? Always. I'm like, okay, so get it up right, motherfucker. Like, you just want to get it up. I just want to get it live, you know? Like, well, I don't fucking make sure it needs to. You imagine we just put out the Star Wars movie and we didn't finish any of the visual effects because we just wanted it out? Like, could you imagine? You know, like when you see a fucking trailer for a movie and clearly those visual effects are nowhere near complete, and you're like, why even include that shot if it looks that bad? I don't mean like you know, like, oh, there's gonna be some changes, like noticeably fucking horrible. Like, dude, remember the Mummy 2 with the fucking ice cream looking rock as the Scorpion King? Remember that? It's like the worst fucking CG ever put to film, dude. Ever for that budget and a post fucking like Phantom Menace world. Like, and all they had to do was fucking spend they cut like 6 months or 8 months out of the fucking production to get it out. And it's like, that didn't help any. You know, like, just fucking get it done right. I'm not saying drag the shit out. Just fucking brand it. It's not fucking rocket science. If you can't read the fucking words, simplify the word. Castlevania Bloodline. How are you supposed to fit that in a thumbnail that's the size of a fucking, you know, of a mini chocolate chip, a Hershey's bar, one of those little mini fucking Hershey's bars, you know, like, it's the size of a salsa packet. Like, how the fuck are you supposed to read that? And it's half the fucking thumbnail. The other half is an image, so it's half a size of a salsa packet. You know, like, if he saw that thumbnail, he goes, "I can't fucking read it. I don't know why they do it." Like, he doesn't know how to equate with the thing he would clown versus the thing he's making. And this is like half the internet, right? Like, half the fucking internet loves to bitch about shit, but when they make one fucking thing, it's like, don't fucking be negative. You gotta be supportive, you know? Like, it's the funniest thing later on, Amanda. You know, like, I gotta put, if they do one fucking thing, they run a fucking marathon, they color some shit out of a fucking, you know, Phineas and Ferb coloring book, it immediately goes on their fucking refrigerator with 10 gold stars, and everyone's got to know how fucking great they are, you know? But if they go and see something where someone spent fucking hundreds of hours, you know, like, they're going to clown that shit, you know? But then, and I learned that at a young age, you know? I watched my mom I remember I learned how to roll my R's because she wanted me to learn Spanish, and she was so proud. She called people in the middle of the night, and I was embarrassed. I'm like, this isn't something to be bragging about. It's just rolling R's, man. Oh, this is fucking amazing. You can do something. I'm like, I'm going to have to drive a car one day. Maybe fly a jet. Maybe fucking operate, you know, $1 million equipment in the military or something, because I was a military family. Maybe I'll get to run a proton pack when I'm old. I don't know. You know, it's like, rolling my R's is chicken shit stuff. I learned that lesson in the 2nd grade. You know, like, we shouldn't be too proud of this one, Mom. Like, it's just fucking talking. Like, I've been talking in English for a few years now, you know, one can, so fucking ridiculous, you know? Like, hey, Hobo, you know, you're just turning a thumbnail thing into, like, you know, this life fucking altering whatever. You know, if you practice rolling your R's, I couldn't fucking snap my fingers until the military, right? So every day on the way to the fucking the motor pool, I would just practice until I fucking one day snap it. I'm not the greatest at it, but I can do it the left and the right. Should I fucking make a video about how great I am? Because look what I can fucking do. You know, like, it's so ridiculous. But I understand that that's just, you know, hey, personal achievement, boom. It's cool. That being said, fucking, you know, Brandon will be like, oh, this fucking movie sucked. Da, 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 da. And then meanwhile, shitty fucking thumbnail. You know? You know? Shitty fucking thumbnail, Brandon. You know? And by the way, not the first time, dude. It's not like it was the first time. It's the fucking 35th fucking time. 37 all at once, you know? At the same time. Like, it's the 37th fucking time with these thumbnails. And then I'm the asshole, right? So I told him, either do it right or fucking just decide you don't have to do this, man. There's other shit to do, right? There's other shit to do. You could sit there playing his... I know he goes, oh, he acts like he never plays his video games. Guys, when I went to his fucking house, right, his apartment last month, he was really good at that game, guys. He knew every map. Like, he acts like I've never watched people... I was there at the creation of first-person shooters, man. Right? I was there when Battlezone came out in the fucking arcades. You know what I mean? I was like... I was playing Wolfenstein 3D when it was fucking new. I played Marathon, Land on fucking Power PCs in 1995 or 4. Don't quote me, I think 4. Dark Forces, Doom, Hexen, Quake. Don't fucking act like I don't know what a goddamn map is, and I can't tell when someone knows every fucking little trick there is. You didn't just figure that out. It's a newer game. So that means you've been playing it. So don't pretend like you haven't been playing it. Just say, yeah, I play it a lot, man. Because you know why? He thinks like I'm not going to know. He just wants me to think he's always fucking working on his art. Impossible. Impossible. For how long it takes him to post a fucking, that doll scene he just posted today. Like, he started that a month ago, bro. Like, a month ago, I went over and gave him notes. It's just been sitting there. I don't know what. He wasn't working on it when I came down there, you know? Like, he wasn't doing anything. I had to fix his fucking computer. It took me 6 hours. He didn't have pressure sensitivity on his Cintiq. You know? Like, it's just so dumb, dude. And then to fucking insult me with the whole, like, oh no, I don't play it all the time. You just totally blow things out of proportion. I'm like, I'm not blowing them enough out of proportion. You want my fucking opinion? I'm making too big a light of it because I gotta deal with the after effects of this shit, you know? Until one day I decide I don't have to deal with it anymore. You know? And then it's just me here. Just me here, folks, with you. I told him, I said, the only thing that's important to fucking this haul working is me. This is, you know, we aren't SketchCraft. I am SketchCraft. That's it. Like, there is no we. You know, that's because his lack of fucking initiative. That's on him, you know? I don't give a shit. This ain't nothing, folks. You know, it's like I actually have a real nice life. I don't just run around my house getting angry and aggro at shit. It's just I look at the thumbnails and I'm like, and he wonders why, you know? He just wonders why. And he'll go, I don't wonder why, I know why. No, he really doesn't. He's just saying that because he wants to look, because he knows how ridiculous he sounds. You know? He just knows how ridiculous. And when he's on here, he's caught in a fucking trap because you guys remember it better. You people who I don't even know, right? If you were all in this room right now and I was at this were like a fucking mixer, right? Like a holiday mixer where we're all bringing fucking cookies and potluck and shit. I wouldn't know you from fucking anyone else, right? And you probably all know this shit by now. How is that possible? Like, like, how is that possible, Brandon? How can the random bots on fucking YouTube get it, but you don't? You know? Explain that shit. He goes, they wouldn't put up with this. I'm not asking them to. And by the way, Brandon, I'm not asking you to put up with this shit either. I'm asking you to get out the way of yourself. I'm not saying put up with my shit. I'm saying do it right. You never fucking have to hear from me again. You know? It's not fucking hard. Holy shitballs, you know? Like, there's legitimate fucking hard shit to do. Putting the fucking names on the thumbnails. It's like, not fucking hard. I'm not going to repeat all of it. Believe me, trust me on this one, PJ, this is going to happen again. I already know this is gonna happen. Just give it a week or two, you know. It's like he was telling me he was posting thumbnails, right? But what he was doing was he was making them live, but then they were at the bottom of the playlist, not in order. So every night, later, Pika, every night they were being posted into the Realtime art playlist, but being dropped to the bottom. There's like 600 videos in there. He's supposed to arrange them. So you make one live, you go in there and you drag it all the way up, one a night. I just told him one a night. one a night. But he'd been like posting, he decided not to do that. He decided to post like 3 or 4 and then, then come back in on a Tuesday and move one up and move. I'm like, that doesn't fucking work, bro. Do one a night and fucking move it. Because I go in there, there's like 17. There was like at least 7 or 9 videos all at the bottom. I'm like, that's not one night's worth of effort. You don't have 9 hours. It takes you an hour to make a fucking thumbnail for some reason. So no fucking way. So which is it? Were you lying to me about how long it takes you to make the thumbnail? Or are you lying to me about this fucking thing? Well, I just got busy because... Oh, so you got busy. So I didn't ask you to fucking... I know you're going to get busy, which is why I said do one fucking thumbnail a night and put it in order. So you don't have to think about it again. I used to call this shit like, Dave Halverson when I was working with him. It was just him and me trying to relaunch GameFan. Every fucking day, Dave would come up with some new fucking plan that was just not realistic with time and effort and everything else. And I was just like, Dave, dude, this is like Dave time. That's like, Dave would be like, oh, it just has to get done, just has to get done. But it wasn't getting done. Then he'd go, well, but this happened, that happened. I'm like, well, then why don't we not plan for a bunch of shit we know can't get done? Why don't we just realistically fucking plan for the shit we know can get done? Well, because more than that it's not enough to get done. Well, think about that. That ain't changing no matter, oh, shit. You're kind of fucked at that point. It's just one thumbnail. He's got 3 to 4 hours every night. So I say 1 hour doing YouTube maintenance, 3 hours of fucking drawing. Not like he's sitting there drawing for the full 3 hours. Whatever. Yeah. Yeah, so he's got a new game coming out, so I added the giant PS4 controller, and then I'm putting a Dreamcast and Dreamcast controller in. Remember sort of the Berserk on the Dreamcast. Boom. Later, Hector. Yeah, this is the newest cover for MegaVisions issue 5. They're like a digital magazine dedicated to all things Sega, past, present, and future. Yeah, I imported that with my DCX-10 back in the day with Fire Pro Wrestling D, and I believe, yeah, the original release of Guilty Gear. Because I did not trust that to ever come stateside at the time, because the Dreamcast, I think, they stopped importing, they started making games at that point. So, yeah. Definitely like a precursor to Devil May Cry, right? I was like, it's got a giant sword. But I can only draw one more character. Huh? Just be one of my own. Yeah. I mean, if I was only able to draw one more thing ever, then it would just be my own stuff. I haven't watched it yet, but I watched it when it was actually happening back in the day. Gorgeous Ladies Wrestling. Big 80s wrestling guy, so yep. I'll get to it. I got a bunch of anime I'm getting caught up on right now, so. There's also a pretty cool documentary out, either also on Netflix or on Amazon. I can't remember which one. I recommend too, if you want to know more about how all that actually went down. Food Wars season 3 right now. Um, Attack on Titan season 2, and Erased, which I lost track of during the move last year. So, and then I want to get made. I want to. I'll start one. Once those are done, I'll start watching Made in Abyss. Watched the first episode. I liked it a lot. So. Where are we at? 90 minutes. I'm gonna go stretch my feet for about 5 minutes, five or 10 minutes, and we're gonna come back, wrap up this little section here, so I can get this controller area all done. So I need to get this section first. These pieces here, then the cape, and then I can get all of this stuff. And I like do it front to back when you're inking the stuff. So foreground to background. Give me a few minutes. No, the stream's not done. I'm just took a stretch break. Thanks, Isaiah. Huh? Dude, no one has to talk. I'm just working. Later, Armando. Artistic greatness. Never. There's so many better artists than me. I think when I learned, grew up going to Comic-Con in San Diego back in the early 90s. And I think early on, one thing I took away, like my first convention was that I got to go to. I wanted to go in '89 when the first Batman movie came out. My father wouldn't let me go. I finally was able to go in '92 because I told him the creator of Batman, Bob Kane, was going to be there, which we all know, you know. Anyway, but that was the con where Image debuted. I didn't even know what Image was or who Todd McFarlane or Jim. I didn't know any of these guys. But it taught me really quickly about how much talent there is in the industry, you know. And I would see them, and then eventually, you know, you get like Alex Ross, you got all these different artists going to come, you know, and it just taught me that there's just so much talent out there that, you know, what do you want to make? You know, what do you want to do? Like, what do you want to be good at doing? I just wanted to be able to make the kind of stuff that I enjoyed buying. I bought Bone, I bought Spawn, you know, Calvin and Hobbes and Akira, you know, like those are the kinds of like, it's always this mix. I just wanted to get good at doing that, you know? So maybe just not having like unrealistic goals, you know? Give me a second. I think I left my phone downstairs. Hey, what's up? Oh, thanks, Armando. Getting there. Which console do I think is worth getting, the PS4 or the Switch? Depends on what you like to play, man. If you want to play giant multiplayer games and AAA super content, you know. You want to play Dragon Quest fucking 10? You want to play Nintendo games, you get a Switch, you know. That's why I own both. I'll say this, the Switch isn't going anywhere, man. It's been successful, so, you know, if you want to hold out for a few more games to be released, and you can do that, you know. I personally have to have a Nintendo system at launch because I'm fucking, like I said many times, I'm suckered into it. The one time I didn't do it was when the Genesis came out, and spent many years regretting that decision. So, but I own both. I love Uncharted 4 on my PS4 a lot. Can't wait for Dragon Quest. But I also love Sonic Mania on my Switch, as well as Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey. So, you know, you're not gonna get to play Battlefront on fucking the Switch if you want to play Battlefront. So, I mean, if I had to only choose one, because I know Dragon Quest XI is definitely going to the Switch at some point, then I would go with the Switch. If I can only choose one. But that's just me. I'll tell you something about the Switch though, man. Once you play it, you're like, shit. I really want to be able to take all my games wherever I go. Not the mobile ones, like the real ones, you know. So being able to play Mario Kart and Zelda on a plane and at the hotel and everywhere else was fucking awesome. And something you can't appreciate until you're actually doing it, you know. Much in the same way that like when the Nintendo 64 came out, like trying to convince my friends about analog control, and you know, they don't really understand what it's for, you know. I mean, now we're like, oh, analog sticks, right? We all have those, but not in 1996. I like to play them at home too. I also like to play them in my bed right before I go to sleep. So it's awesome being able to just sit in bed and fucking play Mario. And I got my sippy cup next to me. So much so I now stream my PS4 to my MacBook. Yeah, that's why I like my 3DS, man. I beat Super Mario 3D Land twice. I do love that game. That's bound to happen eventually. I play mostly Japanese games and independent games, so Xbox and Microsoft products don't really mean much to me. I bought the original Xbox only for Psychonauts, and then it was canceled, then brought back. Then I bought an Xbox 360 just to play Dead Rising and Lost Colony when that first came out. Lost Planet, whatever that name was. Lost Planet. Ended up liking Crackdown, the first one, a lot, and that's it. So Xbox doesn't mean much to me. I don't play multiplayer games. The only exclusive game on a Sony platform that I like really enjoy playing that's AAA would be Uncharted. But I could live without it, I suppose. But Dragon Quest XI, must have. Must have. Must have. There's no indies that they're getting that aren't available on PC. You know, Cuphead's on PC. You know, so just don't see the point. Compared to like getting that exclusive Spider-Man game on PS4 or Uncharted 4, like I'm not buying two AAA consoles. It's just not happening. So there's nothing on Xbox One that won't be on a PC before or after launch that I can't just fucking wait for, you know? However, I want Mario and Mario Kart on day one. You know? I want Uncharted. I want Dragon Quest. I want games like Shadow of the Colossus. You know? Day one. It's my kind of gameplay. My kind of stuff. It would have been great to see Microsoft do something with Rare, but they tried to turn Rare into like HD Wii, you know, stupid motion games and fucking avatars and shit, man. I'm just like, whatever. What a colossal waste of talent. They don't even seem to know how to make a Halo game anymore, so there you go, right? But you can get an Xbox One and you can play Call of Duty in 4K. I don't give a shit. I don't play Call of Duty. Play Call of Duty on a PS4. But you play it in slightly better frame. I don't give a shit. .4K and shit like that makes a big difference in VR. Other than that, I don't give a fuck. As long as it's at a minimum of 720p, I'm fine. That's just me, man. I'm not that picky. 720. The difference between 480p and 720p is staggering. So, as long as it's 720p, I don't give a shit. I'm not a fucking pixel hunter, you know. But you can just see it's slightly more sharper on this one. I don't give a I care about the games, man. Like, what games can I play? What games can I play? Don't know. I don't know, man. I know this. I'll never buy one. I know every time a new game gets announced, Brandon gets fucking depressed that he doesn't own a PS4 or a Switch. I'll tell you that much. Like, the games he plays aren't exclusive. Like Rainbow Six and fucking Call of Duty and shit. I'm like, they're on every fucking thing, bro. Like, get a PS4, it's gonna be on there. You know, get a decent PC, it's gonna be on there. Like, he's like, well, I just get it because I'm used to it. I'm like, well, then there you go, man. He's really not gonna like it when that Spider-Man game comes out, or when Pokemon ends up on fuck. He does play the fuck out of Pokemon games, and the next Pokemon game is gonna be on the Switch, and he's like, Like, he plays and beats every Pokemon game. It makes a lot more sense. If you already got Xbox One, dude, you know, and you're not fucking dying to own Uncharted or the next Spider-Man game on day one, just get a Switch. Because there's fucking... There's going to be plenty of content from Nintendo, you know. I don't know about you, man, but, like, I don't have time to play all of it in one day. So, it lasts. And you can, you know, come January, you'll be able to play Battle Chasers mobile. Mobily. Microsoft isn't into exclusives. They're ditching a lot of their first party development, man. Like, the only thing they're making in house right now is Halo and Forza. You know? Like, the guys who made that fucking Killer Instinct remake, they sold them off to fucking Amazon. Which I didn't even think was that good a fucking game. But whatever. Sony's putting the money into their shit, so... Eh. Microsoft doesn't care. They make their money off Office 365 and shit. Yeah. But I feel bad for the people that just... It's kind of like, you know, those people that really thought the Sega CD, you know, or the Sega Saturn was going to be able to, you know, provide them with Madden and shit like that. And you're like, nope. You know, I mean, I like my Sega Saturn, but, you know, it got criminally fucking destroyed in the States, you know. Yeah, see? Sony exclusive. Yeah, it's a cool feature, but it's not a selling point for me. I'm more interested in the fact like they put Psychonauts in VR, on PlayStation VR. That's cool. Like I back Psychonauts too, so I'll get to play that on my PC. Like there's just no exclusive. Dude, they own Rare. There's no reason why we couldn't have got a fuck. What about Cameo? Remember Cameo? Cameo? Was that Cameo? The fucking chick where she could transform into shit. Where's Viva Pinata? Do you have all these fucking Battletoads? They have all these fucking things, dude. They don't do nothing with them. Nothing. You know? Like, it's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. Perfect Dark, dude. They got Perfect Dark and they've done nothing with it. I mean, they don't give a shit. Look what they've done to Crackdown, dude. The first Crackdown game was a middling game, but with fucking co-op was fun as shit. Transforming cars, that cool fucking like comic book style before Gearbox even did. What was that game they did that shit with? The first person shooter, Borderlands. You know? And then what they do? They turn it into zombies. It could have been superhero like action figures meets G.I. Joe. Like it would have been, they did nothing with it. And then Crackdown 3 depended upon the cloud and it's disappeared. And when it finally comes out, it's going to be just like a generic, FPS fucking, or not really an FPS, but it'll be like one of those Destiny style games, It'll be like a fucking I don't know, guys, man. This is no vision, man. The Pirates game looks fun, but it'll be on PC as well, right? So there you go. You see what I'm saying? As long as I have a PC, like, so I don't see the point in spending an extra $400 for an Xbox. I don't see it. I don't see it. Like they think like that Xbox and PC simultaneous Windows 10 and Xbox is going to give them an advantage. It gives them no advantage, because designing a game for the console means you can optimize it. You can get a lot of power out of that console versus having to make sure a game plays across all system specs. It's yet to be. Yeah, I know the fucking trailer just came out, dude. We've been waiting how many years for this fucking thing? And it was supposed to have total city destruction. Now it's got jack shit. And their fucking excuse for it was that, well, it's because we had to have the always on, and now that people complained about it, we had to take it out. I'm like, wonderful. Sega should never make hardware. Sega can't make a fucking Sonic game, guys. Sonic fans made Sonic Mania. Sonic Forces sucks. So they can't make their fucking retro console, that Mega Drive, whatever, the Genesis replay sucks. It's horrible, dude. These guys got an early copy of it and just didn't know what to do because they didn't want to write a real shitty review. I'm like, write a shitty review. Who cares? If it's not good, tell people how it is, man. Don't lie. If fucking PR don't like you for it, fuck PR, dude. They're just not gonna, like. Man, I hung out with Dave Halverson for years, dude. The king of upselling Sega products in the 90s. How many people bought a Sega CD, or a Jaguar because of, that's not a Sega product, but they bought Sega CD, Sega Saturn at launch because of Dave. Like, I love the Dreamcast. I was there the day it came out, 99.99. Stood outside in Heidelberg, Germany to get mine at the fucking PX. That being said, they don't know what to do. Sega, they don't know what the fuck. Dude, it's always, I've never was excited about it, dude. It just always looks so generically, artistically bad. Just dull looking and whatever. Sonic Mania is the first Sonic game I've enjoyed playing since Sonic Adventure 2. There's that little demo someone made, a fan made, of like procedurally generating Green Valley Zone or whatever, the first level from Sonic 1 in 3D, that looked fucking amazing. You know, I played it. Like, it was fun. I mean, it wasn't perfect, but that was a hell of a lot more. There's ways they could do it, you know, but Sonic Team just, it ain't the same Sonic. It's like saying Rare's the same Rare. They're not the same Rare, man. They're called Rare, but they aren't the Duffer brother. I mean, was it the brothers, the two brothers, not the Duffer brothers, the Stranger Things. You know, it's not all the Kevin Bayless and all those guys. You know, yeah, Sonic Generations was fun, but it didn't give me that giddiness, dude. I didn't think Sonic Mania was going to be that great. My personal opinion, screenshots and video didn't seem to do it justice. Playing it was a fucking treat. Like, you realize the kind of shit they put in there. There's lots of little touches, the way they vary the boss fights up, the way it goes beyond just here's the new engine, you know, way beyond that. I'm gonna draw this PS4 here and then take a break to go make dinner. It's totally possible to fucking make an updated version of Sonic in 3D. You know? Totally fucking possible. It requires art direction, replayability, fun. You know? Stop giving Sonic a fucking sword and shit like that, man. Or turning him into a goddamn werewolf. That isn't it. You know? And remaking the 2D games with 3D assets isn't it either. Yeah, I love it. I got Sonic Mania on my Switch, you know? So it's like, I got Mario, Sonic, Zelda, all on my Switch, dude. Mario Kart. I mean, oof, you know? 14-year-old Rob would have been like, holy shit. Like, I could show 14-year-old Rob the Switch. He'd just be like, what the, you know? But Microsoft has so many fucking things, dude. They have access to, and they just don't, they just, whatever, you know? Whoever was in, they have Fable, man. Fuck, dude. There's a franchise that's never hit peak potential. You know, Fable. And what they turn into a shitty Kinect game. You know, like, whew. There's just no leadership. Whoever's running the Xbox division just has zero fucking leadership. No vision. Seriously. It's like when Atari kept making systems and only making versions of Tempest. Oh, it's Tempest 2000. Now it's Tempest 3000. Now it's Tempest 8000. Man, I fucking love Tempest as well, just as much as anyone, but there's got to be more to it than that. Yeah, it'd be great if it had like that line, that artistic hand-drawn line quality that was like in the opening to Sonic Mania, shit like that. So many fucking things, dude. But they got to get the gameplay down, dude. And just recreating 2D Sonic and 3D isn't it? There's a gameplay that was started in Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 that could be pushed forward too. You know, like, but I don't know, man. You know, I'm not gonna get all worked up about what they could be doing. Just watch them fuck up. Yeah, I support the ones that they make that I enjoy, and the other ones, whatever. Well, I played that one demo where it's procedurally generating it, you know, in open world, and it was a lot of fun, man. I think there's a way to do open world with hub worlds, open world with designed hub worlds, you know? I think there's a way to do it, but whatever, I can't do anything about it. I don't work at Sega, you know? What can Rob do? Not much. You know, I was building this demo once a couple years ago with the guy, and I wanted to make like a star feed. He's a game developer, dude, so he's really good at Unreal 4, and we kind of got it working. But he wanted to make an open world game. I wanted to make a Star Fox rail shooter. So I said, what if we merge it? Where you got this open hub world, right? But then you can go into certain gates, right, that lead you down, you know, to like actually built design worlds, you know, like levels, like rail levels, and then you come back out in the open world. So there's like a mixture, you know, and we could treat those gates, those design ones, was it? I think the idea was that you could create, you know, collect basically money around the open world, and then use those as like quests. Like you get a quest or a job, and then that job would be a design level. So you can kind of mix the two, you know. And I could see that working for Sonic, but you know, man, I just don't have the funds to get that shit going, you know. So at the end of the day, it requires money and passion, and I can't code, so I can't force people to do things. Yeah. I have tried, but I'm one dude, and I have other shit to do, so. All right, everybody. So I'm gonna take a break here. I gotta go make dinner and stuff, and then I'll come back and finish the bottom half. So, oh, he was a seasoned game developer, so it wasn't quite the same thing as like me doing it by myself. So, all right, everybody. I gotta go. Yeah, he worked on like Project Overdrive or whatever with Sunset Overdrive and a bunch of fucking games, dude. So, peace. I'm out of here. Later.